Hello bead friends, we're back with a new tutorial. Today we will learn how to make our new necklace, which I've called Bloom, and it's made using basic wire technique. Building on our previous tutorial of our Zahira earrings, we will continue exploring the world of wire beading and how to use our pliers. So today we will be making our necklace. As you can see, I've made it in an array of colors as usual. I have it in silver, light blue, blue, pink, opaque, mint green, and orange. The chain that we will be using as a base for our necklace is available in our shop, both in gold, rose gold, and silver. So I've used them all three in our colors so that you can see it. As usual, you will be able to buy both the kits or the materials in our shop. Materials that you will need for today's project are round nose pliers, flat nose pliers. As always, mine are curved. You can have both curved or flat, whatever works better for you or you have at home. What's important is that the internal part of your plier is actually flat and ungrooved so that it won't ruin your wire while you're working. We will be using our pliers more than in the previous project. Also, you will need a side cutter to cut your wire. The wire that we will be using is a 26 gauge wire, so 0.40 millimeter, that we have both in rose gold, gold, and silver to match your necklace, and your chain. The chain that we will be using is our ball chain. It's thin. And then you will need 5 metal beads, size 4 millimeters, that will match your chain. So gold for rose gold and so on. Then you will need, we'll be using for the flower petals, flat faceted round beads, size 3 times 4 millimeters, the same ones we've used in our Zahira earrings. We will need 30 pieces for our necklace. Then you will need a complete clasp, like this one, composed of a clasp, 2 smaller jump rings, really thin. They're the thinnest that we carry in the shop so that they can go through our ball chain, which is really thin, and a bigger jump ring for the clasp. And you're all set. Before we start, I wanted to show you that I've made the matching bracelet and earrings to go with our necklace, and they differ slightly from how you make the necklace. So I'll be making a second video tutorial to teach you how to make these two as well, so that you'll be able to have the matching set. Now to begin, we will take our chain and we need to cut the pieces that we will need to put in between the flowers. So we need a long chain, a ball, and again a chain, and then we will cut. So skip the first ball chain and cut just before the second ball with our side cutters. So this is the piece that you will need for your necklaces, and you'll need 6 pieces of this chain like this. So 1. Now to go on, I'll have to cut off this second extra ball. Then I'll cut, skipping the first ball and cutting just before the second one. Second piece, cut off the extra ball. And cut before the second sphere, so we're 3. Cut off the extra ball. 4, cut off the extra ball. 'Skip the next one, cut off before the extra sphere. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 need an extra 1, so cut off again the extra ball. And then cut our chain before the other ball. Here you go. So you have all your chain, and as you can see, I have just a small bit of my 1/2 meter chain left that I'll probably use for my earrings in the next tutorial. Now the balls that we actually cut off from the chain are actually the right size to use at the center of our flower, but very often we get chunks of chain, of links of chain stuck in the ball, so it's hard to go through with our wire. So I usually just use regular spheres for our chain. Are the round spheres, regular 4 millimeters for the center of our flower. Now I'm taking my wire, and we'll have to cut off 4-inch piece for our wire, for our flower. And then on this piece of wire, put 6 of our flat faceted round beads. Here you go, 6 beads. Have them go towards the center of our wire. And then we want to round off the wire to have the 2 ends meet and cross over to close our beads in a circle. So tightly. Here you go. So they're crossing. And now to stop the beads and hold them in place, we want to twist around the beads and the ends of the wire. So we keep with our index and thumb finger of one hand the beads, the round beads in a circle, and with the other hand, we twist the wire just once so that the beads are held in place and they don't go anywhere. And you want to do it tight so that your circle of beads is nice and tight. Once you've done this, you're going to take one of the wires and push it towards the center to fall horizontally. So you want one of the 2 wires to cross and separate the circle of beads with 3 beads on top and 3 beads on the bottom. Then we're going to take one of our round center beads and have it go on the wire that's crossing your circle so that the beads falls in the center to finish off your circle. And to stop this bead in place, we're going to take the end of the wire through which we've put the bead and have it go around the circle and come out from the other side going through. And you can see that my wire is positioned between the 3rd and 4th bead of our circle so that the center bead falls exactly in between. And then you can do it with your pliers, pull through the wire, pull it tightly, and have it tighten up on the circle of wire so that your bead is attached firmly to the circle. Now we want to finish off both ends of the flower because the flower is done, and as you can see, it actually has a front and a back, because on the back you'll see the wire passing through the center bead, and the center bead will be actually slightly behind the rest of the circle, so it won't be able to go perfectly through because it has the wire that's pulling it back. This is completely normal. So this is the back of our flower and this is the front. Working on the front of the flower, taking our flat pliers, we're gonna bend the wire coming out, the one which we use to attach the center bead, 45-degree angle. Then we're gonna take our round pliers, take them right at the beginning where the wire is coming out of the circle, take our fingers and have the wire go around one of the points of our pliers to form a circle. Take out the pliers. You want to make this shape with your wire. Once you have this circle, we're going to add the chain to this side of the flower. So have the wire go through the first ring of our chain. There you go. And then we're going to take back our round pliers, put them back through this ring that we've made. If the ring has come undone or opened up, close it up before you take the wire and you twist it around the base of your wire to finish off the ring. You do 1.5 loops around it so that you've actually closed up the loop that you've just made. And then we're going to cut off this excess wire. And then if you have a piece of wire sticking up that might scratch you, just with your flat pliers, just push it so that it lays flat. And this is our first end of the flower done. Now we'll do the same thing on the other side. Now on the other side, still working on the front of our flower, we already have a bend to the wire on this end because it's been made with the first initial twist. So you will start off with the round pliers, take them at the base, and again, as before, make a circle around one of the ends of your pliers to make a loop without closing it. Take a second piece of chain, have it go through the loop that you've made, attaching it to the first loop of your chain. Take back your round pliers, put it back through, check your loop, and once you're satisfied with its shape, you can go around and close it off with a loop and a half around. So you should end up on the behind, on the back of your flower. Cut off the excess, flatten the end of the wire that you've just cut, and your first flower is done. Now, the second flower is constructed practically in the same identical way. The only thing that you have to change up is that you will be attaching the first loop to the piece of necklace that you have already done, and then you'll add a new chain. So, again, a 4-inch piece of wire. Have 6 beads on your wire. Have the beads go in the center of the wire, bend to form a circle, tighten up the beads, and then twist the wires to have a nice and tight circle. Now, you can see that my beads aren't exactly tight and they're kind of moving, so I'm not exactly happy with the twist that I've made. So I can take and fix this by keeping my plier and pulling both wires so that I squish my circle and tighten it up, just like this. When that's done, we can take one of the wires and have it go through the center of the flower. Take my bead for the center, have it go on the wire and end up in the center of this flower, just like that. And then have the end go through the circle, pop out on the other side in between the beads. Have it go around and help yourself with the pliers to tighten it up nice and tight. There you go. And then we can finish off this side. 45 degrees bend, the flat pliers, round pliers. Have the loop go around one of the ends to form the loop. Have the chain of our necklace through the first loop of the chain. Back with your pliers inside the loop, check the shape, have the loop go back, around, and back again to form a loop and a half. And once you're satisfied with that, cut it off. There you go. Now we'll end up with this one. You see it's already twisted to 45, so just take your round pliers, make the loop, take a new chain, add it on, and then finish off this side with a loop and a half. Make sure that your wire is nice and tight, so if you're not happy with how you've done the loop, you can take your wire and, keeping the round wire on the other side, pull so that you tighten the loop around the base, and then you can cut it. And that's our flower. And you have to repeat the same process to add another 3 flowers. As you can see, by starting at the front of my flower when I'm adding the chain, I'm always making sure that all my flowers fall on the same side so that when I'm wearing my necklace, they will be all propping on the front. So that's important. Take that into account when you're working. So add another 3 flowers. Added all 5 of your flowers. Your necklace should measure 18 centimeters. And we'll attach the clasp. So we'll take our small, super thin jump rings and take them in between. I'm looking for the opening, but these have been closed so tightly that it's really hard. Here it is. So with the opening on top, on one side our flat plier, and on the other side we'll take it with our round. The round ones are fixed, and the flat ones pull and open up the jump ring. Then we get the chain on one side of the necklace and have the first loop go through our jump ring. So it's so tiny that it's actually a tight fit. There you go. Then take our lobster clasp and put it through the jump ring and close up our jump ring. Now make sure that this is tightly closed. So if you have just a small space with your flat pliers, take both sides of the jump ring and push them together. Do it very slowly. Don't put too much force, because this is really just, you don't need a lot of force for this. If you put too much force, you might ruin the jump ring or hurt yourself. It's a very controlled movement. And then we're going to do it again on the other side. I have, okay, so let's take the second jump ring, open it up, just like the first. There you go. Okay, you can see. Open it up a bit more. Yeah. Now have it go through the first loop of the chain. There you go. And attach the other jump ring, the bigger one. Close up the loop. Push it together, and you're all set. Now, this chain tends to get tangled very easily because the chain is so thin. So I hook up the clasp when I hold it at home, and then I either keep it in a small bag or I hang it up so that it doesn't get tangled. And that's your necklace all ready and done to wear, ready to wear. That's all for today, beauty friends. I hope you enjoyed our tutorial. Please make sure to sign up for our channel by ringing the bell so that you may get all the new notifications and may know when the next tutorial is coming up. I'll make the next tutorial the one to make further the matching bracelet and earrings to this necklace. And as always, you can find the kits for the necklace on our site in our shop, that is www.happybead.it. You can also follow us on social media. You can find us on Instagram as Happy Bead Milano and on Facebook as Happy Bead La Fabbrica delle Perline. If you have comments or questions on the tutorial, just write them below. I always answer, and I just enjoy really hearing about how you enjoyed the tutorial and if you had any problems. Thank you. That's all for today. And until next time, enjoy. Thank you.